Hey, what's going on YouTube? HyperDark19 here bringing you another video. This one is going to be about the upcoming March 2012 ban list and what I think is going to be on it. I'll include a little bit of discussion of what I would like to be on it, but probably won't be. But yeah, these are going to be my predictions. And yeah, please comment, subscribe to me. Just tell me what you think about them because from the last ban list, I predicted fairly accurately. So yeah, I'm trying my hand again, and yeah, I'll get right to it. First of all, things I'm also going to address issues like first of all, I'll address the issues that need to be addressed, and then or name the issues that need to be addressed, and then get to what cards I think will be hit on the list and why that is. First of all, let's start off with plant decks. Obviously, they're way too broke this format. Everyone knows they have to be hit. However, I think I know what Konami is going to hit. I disagree with it, but I think that's what they're going to hit. There's really only two cards I see as worth hitting on the plant in the plant engine, and that's either Lone Fire Blossom or Dandelion. I'm of the opinion, I really think strongly that Konami is going to ban Dandelion with this list. And while I can understand that, I mean, Dandelion's a broke card. Everyone knows it, especially with the infamous Tengu 1-for-1 Dandy combo that just wrecks shit. You know it. I know it. It's broke as hell. Um, yeah, so I'm pretty sure that Dandelion is going to be banned this upcoming format, I should say. But personally, I really don't agree with it. I think if anything should be banned, it should be Lone Fire Blossom because it's pretty much the enabler for all the plant decks. It brings out the spores and glow ups first turn. It brings out the Dandelion first turn. Just searches the deck for any plant monster. I think it's a little broken. So it's more so than Dandelion even because it's the enabler. I don't know. I could see either Lone Fire or Dandelion hitting the list. I think they're going to go Dandelion. I would prefer it be Lone Fire, but whatever. I mean, whatever happens, happens. I'm pretty sure they're going to ban Dandelion. So, yeah, that's that. And then, not only for plants, but for pretty much every deck imaginable, everyone else is calling it. I am too. Sangan is definitely going to hit the list in the banned status this upcoming format. Sangan's is way too broke. You can synchro. You can synchro and get its effect. You can tribute it and get its effect. Searches out pretty much any kind of monster anyone needs, including tour guides, max C's, effect veilers. You can search it with tour guide. It's the prime target. It's broke as hell. You need to get rid of it. I love Sangan and all that, but I'm sorry, this thing needs to go. It's becoming a real nuisance, and yeah, it's just gonna. And you can search Rescue Rabbit even. There you go. So it's getting way too broken, and it pretty much has to be stopped. So unfortunately, Sangan's gonna go, guys. Sorry. Next up, Trishula. A lot of people have been debating whether Brionac, Trishula, or both of them will hit the ban list. Personally, I am against Brionac hitting the ban list because while it is really easy to play, and I mean, it does kind of promote OTKs, it is a little bit of a sacky card. Brionac is one of the only monsters that has the bounce effect in its ability, and you need it. You need it right now because that's the only way to get around real nuisances like number 39 Utopia, wind up Zen Mines, Gachi Gachi, a really annoying crap like that. Yeah, Brionac is one sure way to get around all of that. And I mean, sure, you can stop it with Solemn Warning, so I mean, it's not that great. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Brionac, I could see why it would hit the ban list, but I don't think it will, and I really don't want it to. However, Trishula, I think, really does need to hit the list, and I would not at all be surprised if it did. That card is way too broke. People think, oh yeah, well, level 9, you need 3 monsters. You can't really summon it that often. Bull. It's incredibly easy to summon, especially with the Tengus and the plants, like I said, the glow-up bulbs and everything. It's way too easy to play, has way too broke of an effect. It's like a super awesome Mistworm. I would much rather see people have to play Mistworm over Trishula and see that card banned. I'm really fed up with that card. I hate it. I really hate it with a passion. It's really bad for the game. It's like a DD Crow, and I forget DD. It's like a DD Crow, a Blackluster Soldier, Oh, well, like I should say Chaos Sorcerer more like, and then a Trap Dust Shoot all rolled into one. So yeah, it's bad news. And also, people may laugh at 2700 attack on a 9-star monster, but that is nothing to laugh at, folks. It is really, really good. Don't let the 2700 fool you. You may think your beaters can get over it easily. There's really not much that can get over it that easily other than Blackluster Soldier. So, yeah, that thing has to go. I'm sorry, but it really does. Next up, BLS, the infamous Blackluster Soldier. A lot of people were really up in arms for it coming back, as well as I was too. However, we expected that a lot of people underestimated it because it's been gone for so long and the game has evolved so much since it was last around that people reasoned that, oh, it's not going to be that bad. We have all these cards now that can counter it, so it's really not going to be that big of a deal. Well, guess what? It was. Pretty much the game has devolved into a race to see who plays BLS first, and whoever does wins. It's really sacky. It's a card that should never have been made, much less taken back off the ban list. It's way too easy to play. 3000 attack just for having 2 monsters in your graveyard. Yeah, great. Good job, Konami. Yeah, so yeah, I'm really calling the Blackluster Soldier is going to go back on the list because people severely underestimated its power. And yeah, it just really needs to go away. I'm sorry. Broke cards should stay banned. Next up, Future Fusion. A lot of people are calling for this to be hit with the release of the New Dragon Structure deck that makes it go from a really good card to a super broken card. Basically, by playing Future Fusion with these new dragons, you'll get 2 Gold Sark searches, and five Foolish Burials essentially. So yeah, it's obviously broken. There's another deck that plays Quasar first turn by using Future Fusion. Heroes are eventually going to get really broke with Future Fusion once the Dark Hero Fusion comes out. Yeah, it just needs to go now, folks. Let's address the problems before they arise for once and ban Future Fusion. Dragons are going to get too good. Heroes are going to get too good. I'm sorry. So, although I would love to see a format where heroes kill everything. But, yeah, I'm calling it for it to go now. Heroes won't really be that hurt by it. Dragons really will be, though. That's something that needs to be addressed right now. So, yeah, Future Fusion needs to go. Sorry. And last for the bans, it's possible this format, I think, that Monster Reborn may hit the ban list again. I'm really hoping that this is the case. It probably won't be, but I am hopeful, and a lot of other people are too, apparently. The reasoning being that if Monster Reborn is banned, then Call of the Haunted could go unlimited, and since Call of the Haunted has been doing nothing at 2, I don't see it as unreasonable that it could go to 3. So, Monster Reborn, everyone knows a Sacky card, promotes wins that shouldn't happen, ridiculous situations that shouldn't happen, so yeah. I think it should go, personally, and I'm hopeful that Konami will make the right decision. Okay, so that's it for the banned cards. On to limited cards, or things that I hope will be limited. First of all, Rescue Rabbit. I really, really hope that they limit this card to 1. However, that's probably unrealistic, and they'll probably just hit it to 2. They are going to touch it, let's be clear on that. But they're probably just going to semi it, because just to make it the deck a little bit less ridiculous, but I don't think that's going to cut it. Personally, I would rather see it go to 1, and I mean they have Leviair, so they can bring it back even if they do have 1. They can just Gold Sark it. 3 copies of Gold Sark, it's not that hard. So I would really not mind seeing only 1 rabbit. However, I think they will take it to 2, just to not totally kill the sackiness of the deck, just make it a tiny bit less sacky. 3 copies of Rescue Rabbit is bad, folks. Yeah, I really hope they limit that crap. They're probably just going to semi-limit it, though. Next up, Leviair. If for some miraculous reason they don't touch Rescue Rabbit, and even if they do, I really hope Leviair hits the limited list. I really don't see a problem with that because most people, even rabbit decks, only play 1 copy of Leviair anyway. But it should hit the limited list just because it's so good. It's too easy to get. You can special summon things back from removed from play zone for nothing essentially, and you get an 1800 beat stick on top of it. Tour Guide makes it absolutely ridiculous, so I think Leviair has to go to 1 just to follow the precedent of things like Brio and Goyo and things before it that were totally broke. So yeah, that thing needs to go to 1. Next up, I think that Dark Worlds do need to get touched a little bit, despite the fact that they really haven't seen any top. Well, they've seen a few toppings here and there, but they haven't won anything yet. I do, however, think that something in that deck needs to get touched to make it a little bit a little bit less sacky. For example, the two prime suspects are Snow and Grapha. Grapha is pretty much your boss monster. It's 2,700, a joke to get out, and plus, if you discard him from the hand, you get to destroy something on your opponent's field. It's really a joke how good the card is. Snow, on the other hand, is the enabler of the deck, and the searcher lets you search out any Dark World card, not just a monster, so you can search out your gates, give yourself more draw power on top of that. I'm really calling for one of these two to hit the list. I hope that they will limit Grapha. I could also see them semi-limiting it. I can't really see them limiting Snow. I could see them semi-limiting Snow. So either limit Grapha or semi-limit Snow, or do something, some combo of the two, something in there. I really think one of those two cards or both needs to get hit, though. Also, Royal Oppression. I saw absolutely no reason why this card was banned in the first place, especially considering a format where there's almost unlimited spell and trap destruction, Heavy Storm, 3 Mystical Space Typhoons. Yeah, I mean, sure, people don't play 3, but yeah, I really, really hope that Royal Oppression comes back. It needs to, in order to control the fast-paced mess that this format has become. So yeah, I really hope Oppression comes back. I can pray that they would semi-limit it for God knows what reason, but that's probably not going to happen. Just coming back to 1 will be enough for me to make Gravekeepers viable again. So although a lot of stun decks viable again. So yeah, I really hope Royal Oppression comes back. Also, Solemn Warning. It was at 3. They semi-limited it to 2 because it just saw too much play. Konami logic. If it's overplayed, hit it on the list. It's Solemn Warnings at 2, and people still overuse it. Pretty much everybody use anybody, especially now that there was a reprint, plays 2 copies of Solemn Warning in their deck. So, yeah, especially with a $10 reprint, like I said. But yeah, I'm really calling Solemn Warning. I don't want it to happen because it's a nice check on the speed of the game, but I think Solemn Warning is going to go limited. Not banned, but limited. Because, like I said, people overuse it. And when people overuse a card and use it in every single deck, Konami hits it on the list. So yeah, it's a bad idea, but there it is. It's probably going to happen. Also, last for the limited, Wind Up Zen Mighty, the rank 3 Xyz that is the enabler of the crazy Wind Up loop deck that is now out. It just needs to go to 1. Just wreck the whole Wind Up loop before it even starts. Like I said, it's been out for a few weeks. I mean, it's surely had some success. I've heard it's had success over in Japan, but excuse me. But yeah, I'm just calling for that to get hit now. Stop this crazy crap before it happens. Zen Mighty is the thing that makes it all work. So limit it to 1. I mean, sure, windups can still be a good deck, but they just won't have a crazy loop. I mean, they've got enough support to be a decent deck without it. So I really think that it wouldn't be a big deal. Semi-limited. Lightsworns have not seen any kind of competitive play in a while, even with Judgment Dragon, their boss being at 3. So I want mostly because the deck is not consistent at all, and it's either you sack win like first or second turn, or you just lose horribly. So I'm calling for Konami, because they love Lightsworns, to give them a little bit of love on this ban list. I would call, especially for in terms of consistency, for Lumina to go back to 2 from 1. And if they did that, I would also call for Judgment Dragon to go from 3 to 2 or to 1, probably to 2. It would just bring a little consistency back to Lightsworns. It wouldn't make them totally broke again. Adding another charge would make them totally broke. But no, adding another Lumina and taking away a Judgment Dragon would make it far more balanced and actually a decent and fun deck to play against. So instead of just a sacky mess. So yeah, I really think that that's what Lightsworns need, and they'll probably get it. Next up, the last top deck that I haven't discussed yet, Agents. I think they are going to get hit in some fashion. A lot of people say Earth. A lot of people say Venus. A lot of people say Christia. I don't think it's going to be any of those cards. I think if they're going to touch anything, it's Master Hyperion, because you can say anything about Christia being the boss of the deck. Master Hyperion is the true boss of the deck, because it's basically the Dark Armed for fairies. And Dark Armed is limited, so by my logic, Hyperion should be at least semi-limited, if not limited, because also it's searchable by Earth and Sanctuary builds. That's just ridiculous. So that thing needs to get hit. It's a real beast. Really does, in my opinion, need to get touched on the ban list to 2, if not to 1. Next up, I know people are going to yell at me for saying this because it's probably never going to happen, probably just my wishful thinking, but I'm calling for Tour Guide to go to 2. I know it's a TCG exclusive. I know TCG exclusives never get touched except for the one time, Allure of Darkness, and that was because it was a really, really dumb format. But I would argue now is a really dumb format with people playing 3 Tour Guides in every deck. So, yeah, especially one little hint that this might happen is that it's coming out as like a freaking common in the Epic Dawn packs. Tour Guide, I mean. So that kind of hints to me that they're going to touch it on the list. Maybe. I can hope. If they put Tour Guide to 2, wouldn't hurt it. I mean, they can't put it to 1. That would just wreck it, and they won't want to do that. But if they put Tour Guide, and it's going to be the main selling point of Epic Dawn anyway. So if they put Tour Guide to 2, it wouldn't hurt consistency at all, even with Sangan gone. I mean, Dark Worlds can still use it. What's it called? Infernities can still use it. Lots of decks can find substitutes for Sangan for Tour Guide targets. So Tour Guide at 2 really wouldn't hurt anything. It would make the game a lot less sacky because a card that gives you +1 automatically is just way too good to stay at 3. Also, Inzektors. I know they really haven't done anything huge yet, but with I'm sure with the next support that they're going to get, they probably will become broken. And a lot of people are calling for Hornet to hit the list, but I would argue that really wouldn't do anything at all. Hornet is, sure, it's the card that makes it all work, but limiting it to, like, even if you limited Hornet to 1, it wouldn't do anything, because all they need is 1 copy for their loop to work. All they have to do is Foolish it, Armageddon Knight it, bring it out with Mystic Tomato if they have to, Dark Grepher it, anything like that. All they need is 1 copy and then get Inzektor or Dragonfly or Centipede and their loop goes off. So yeah, I would argue that hitting Hornet wouldn't do anything to the deck. If they really want to do something, a lot of people are calling for Dragonfly to go to 2. I would like that. I would also, at the same time, like to see Centipede go to 2, so both their beat sticks, well, so to speak, beat sticks go to 2. I think it would not kill the deck, but it would just make it a lot less cheap because they could search less. Yeah, I think just putting Dragonfly and Centipede to 2, both of them, would be fine with me. And I mean, if just Dragonfly goes to 2, that's okay too, but I'd really like to see Centipede go to 2, too, because people underestimate how good that thing is in comparison to Dragonfly. So, yeah, I would like that. Also, Blackwings have not gotten any love for a couple ban lists now, except for the Icarus attack. So I really don't think, a lot of people think Kalut might come back. I don't think that's so, because I mean, sure, it's worse than Honest, but it is a hand trap and another version of Honest, essentially, themed. So I really don't think they're going to bring Kalut back to 2, or 3, definitely not. But I don't see Kalut coming back. I could, however, see Black Whirlwind coming back to 2, or maybe even Gale coming back to 2. I mean, not only when was the last time you saw anyone play Blackwings, when was the last time you saw anyone play Gale? I'd like to, because it's a great splashable tuner with a broke effect, in my opinion. But, yeah, when was the last time you saw people play Gale at all in a good deck? So, yeah, I'd like to see Blackwings get a little love. They're a good deck. I really like them. With the hits on the list that they've already had, they went from being broke to being balanced to being unviable because they just wrecked them on the list. But yeah, I'd like to see them get a little love, and I think they probably will, with either Whirlwind or Gale going back to 2. I don't think it would make that much difference at all. Also, speaking of not making any difference, Emergency Teleport. I can see this card going back to 2 for a couple reasons, one of which being this is no longer the dad return format. Psychics have gotten hit already. Mindmaster is banned, which is the main criminal. Emergency Teleport and Mindmaster are pretty much partners in crime. So, and when was the last time you saw Psychics play anything competitively? When was the last time you even saw them splashed into any kind of deck? So, yeah, I'd really like to see Teleport come back to 2. I really don't think it would hurt anything, wouldn't make any difference. I'd really like it. My Stardust Assault Mode deck could really benefit from that. But, yeah, Malicious is at 2, which is another partner in crime for E-Telly. So, yeah, I really don't see any reason why E-Telly shouldn't be at 2. And last but not least, Book of Moon. I think that with it at 3, okay, it was pretty broken. When they hit it to 1, everyone stopped playing it. It was pretty much it was a no-go really. With one, which is just one copy. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's not really that effective anymore. Yeah, and like Konami Logic, people overused it, so hit it. Now that it's not doing anything anymore, I can see them bringing it back to 2, and I would like to see that happen because once again, it would be a counter to this fast-paced, crappy format that we have. Yeah, so that's my Book of Moon call. Hoping that it comes back to 2. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Last but not least, my unlimited picks. Debris Dragon. I could potentially see this card being unlimited if Dandelion were to be banned. If Dandelion is not banned, then no unlimited Debris Dragon for you. But if Dandelion was banned, Debris Dragon loses its partner in crime and pretty much becomes just a Black Rose play. I mean, what are you going to really do with that? With a Lone Fire, okay, maybe. So I don't see any reason why Debris Dragon shouldn't be unlimited as long as Dandelion is not in the game. Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk is a good card, I think. I use it a lot in my decks, but the fact is that after it was even before it was limited to 1, it really didn't see much play except with Rescue Cat. And now, especially for being a 1, didn't do anything. Being a 2, hasn't done anything. I could see them, therefore, bringing it back up to 3 because it's not really a factor in the game right now, and I don't think it would be even if they brought it up to 3. I mean, it's a good card and all, but a lot of people overlook it and just don't use it. So I could see that coming back. Also, like I said, if Monster Reborn is banned, Call of the Haunted will definitely come back to 3. It might come back to 3 even if Monster Reborn isn't banned. I don't know. I'm not Konami. I don't follow their weird logic. But, yeah, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that happening, especially if Monster Reborn was banned, because at 2 it hasn't done crap. So, yeah, people definitely underestimate the power of Call of the Haunted. So, I could see that coming back. Also, Level Limit Area B. If Gravity binds at 3, why the hell is this card still at 1? I could see that being unlimited. I really don't see any kind of reason why it shouldn't be. If somebody makes some kind of crazy burn deck with it, more power, lockdown or something, more power to you. Anything to get away from this format. So yeah. And last but not least, Swords Revealing Light, like with so many of these other cards, hasn't done anything at 2. I could see it going to 3. Like I said, once again, it could enable some kind of crazy lockdown deck. But whatever. I mean, if you want to play a Final Countdown deck and run 3 of each of these things, go ahead. I don't care. I'll find a way to beat you. So, yeah. I really think that most of these cards could be unlimited because they don't do crap anyway. I mean, Level Limit Swords. When was the last time you saw people playing these anyway? Alright, so that's pretty much my ban list predictions. Subscribe, comment, tell me what you think. Hopefully I'll get back with a deck. I'm holding off on deck profiles right now until after the ban list, and then I'll start making new decks. But right now, my Stardust Assault Mode deck is doing very good in testing. I tested it last night on Dueling Network, dueled 5 or 6 times, and didn't lose a single one. So, yeah, it's doing pretty well. But that's it. Until next time, peace out, YouTube. HyperDark19 signing off.